I'm here at the University of Queensland at the Queensland Brain Institute, and I'm here with Leonie. She studies sleep. Hi, Leonie.
Hi.
Our brain is like a big machine that controls everything that happens in our bodies. It does this by sending messages as electrical signals, and we can measure this as waves of electrical activity with equipment like this. Our brains do different things when we're awake and asleep. So how can you tell when someone's actually asleep?
So the most obvious way that you can tell someone's asleep is that their eyes are closed and they're probably going to be lying down in their bed.
Right, that's easy, that one.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there are more difficult ways to tell when someone's asleep as well. And these are things you might not be able to do at home, but in the lab. So, for example, when someone's asleep, you can tell by their brain activity.
So you can tell just by looking at a person's brain activity whether they're awake or asleep?
Yeah, that's right. If you can record from their brain and see that their brain activity is really different to when they're awake. So when you're in slow wave sleep, all your cells are firing together at the same time in these very slow, rhythmical waves of activity. And this happens more at the start of the night, and it's called deep sleep. But then later in the night, you have what's called rapid eye movement sleep. And during this stage, you have much faster waves of activity in your brain. And you also have a lot of dreaming.
Is that when your eyes actually are moving? Is that why it's called that?
Yes, it's called rapid eye movement sleep because your eyes are flickering really fast.
Why is sleep so important?
Sleep is important not just for one thing, but for many different things. It's really important for your brain. So you know that when you don't get a good night's sleep, you can't focus and pay attention the next day. And you're really tired and groggy. So sleep is really important for your ability to focus. It's also really important for learning and remembering things. You need to sleep so that you can consolidate or solidify those things that you learnt during the day.
So if I haven't had enough sleep, can I catch up on it? Does it work like that?
Well, that tends to happen. If you don't get a good night's sleep, you will need to catch up on sleep the next day. But it's not a good habit to get into. It's much better to have a healthy sleep routine where you have the same amount of sleep every day.
How much sleep do we really need?
Mostly it's recommended that adults should get about 7 to 8 hours sleep a night, but kids need a lot more. So kids, around the age of 10 need about between 9 and 11 hours of sleep every night.
So what happens to our bodies and our brains if we don't get enough sleep?
When you don't get enough sleep, you know that you have this fuzzy kind of groggy feeling. You can't function well, you can't learn things properly. And it also makes you really irritable. So when you don't get enough sleep, you're likely to get into a lot of arguments with people.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Do kids and adults react differently to a lack of sleep?
Yeah, interestingly, so adults when sleep deprived tend to get really sluggish and slow and unmotivated, whereas kids tend to get really hyperactive and wired and really disruptive in class as well.
Why is that?
Actually, we don't really know. What we do know is that kids' brains are still developing and probably sleep is having a big role in that brain development.
Why, when we go to sleep, do we have these really vivid dreams?
This is one of the biggest mysteries of neuroscience. Why do we see these crazy things when we go to bed every night?
Yeah.
Now, we really don't know much about it, but we do know that dreams are highly emotional. So if you've seen something scary during the day, like a spider or something traumatic, you might relive this through your dreams. So dreams might be important for processing these emotional events in your life. Other people think that dreams have actually nothing to do with anything. They're just a byproduct or a side effect of the brain's normal processing and activity.
Have you got any tips for kids out there that are trying to get a good night's sleep?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that can help you get to sleep. One of the most important things is having a very regular sleep routine. So try to go to bed at the same time every night and try to relax beforehand and not worry too much, because worry is one of the things that keep people up. Another thing is to have good nutrition, so try to eat healthy food before you go to sleep and not too heavy a meal. And another really good thing that can help you get to sleep is just trying to avoid all screens and devices. So try not to look at phones, TV, computers before you go to bed, because that blue light from those screens actually suppresses hormones in your body that help you get to sleep.
So the light from the screen's actually waking you up?
That's right. They wake you up and they stop you from going to sleep.
My name's Martina Kotzian and I'm a dream therapist. Dream therapy is when we've uncovered the dream message I interpret a dream by first talking to the client. They share their dream with me, and then we go back into the dream and we identify any characteristics in the dream. So that involves dream themes. So these could be falling or flying. Dream symbols, such as it could be a key or a phone. And the dream environment is quite important. So it could be based at school, or it could be at work. And also their feelings in their dream as well. So if they are flying, how are they feeling about flying? Or how are they feeling about falling? And these are really important indicators to help figure out what the dream is trying to communicate. I studied a Bachelor of Psychology at uni and got my degree. And I was really interested in the dream aspect of psychology, and decided to take on some more dream courses after uni. So I did a specific dream interpretation course, and then also another dream therapy course. There's definitely psychology involved behind dream therapy. Psychology is basically what is going on in your mind. This can relate to mental health, and it can relate to emotional health, and it's basically just connecting with your mind. There are universal themes and symbols that a lot of people dream about, and this is because we're all human. We all have the same experiences or very similar experiences. So we all fall in love, we all go to school. So that's where these universal symbols come in, and these can include running or feeling stuck, like you're not really getting anywhere when you're running. This tends to symbolize that you're feeling stuck or frustrated about something. Another universal symbol is babies. So babies tend to represent new beginnings. So if you dream of a baby, you might be starting high school, or you might be working on a new project, or you might make a new friend. Yeah, that's how symbols and dream themes work universally. You can still get different interpretations with different dreams. It all depends on your feelings and also what else is happening in your dream. To avoid bad feelings in a dream is to, when you go to bed, think of something really happy and get into a really happy mindset, and that way you're more likely to have happier dreams.
Up next, our journey into the night continues.
Earlier on Get Clever, I met my friend Leonie, who told me why sleep is so important. Now she's going to show me how she studies sleep in flies in the lab. Do animals have the same sleep patterns to us humans?
Actually, there is a huge range of brain activity patterns across the animal kingdom. Some animals need to sleep very little. For example, sheep only sleep about 4 hours, whereas koalas need to sleep up to 20 hours a day. About 10 years ago, it was discovered that fruit flies sleep just like us. And that's when people all around the world started studying them and trying to understand basic questions about sleep, like why sleep is important for the brain.
How do you measure sleep in something as small as a fly?
Yeah, so we get these tiny little flies and we put them in these really small tubes. And then what we do is we video them from above. And when the fly stops moving, we can tell that it's asleep. Another thing we can do is we can shine red lights on these flies, and then we can activate a part of their brain that actually forces them to go to sleep. So the red light will actually activate a particular part of their brain that forces them to go to sleep.
Wow, so you're just switching that red light on makes them go to sleep?
Yeah.
Wow, how quickly does that happen?
It can happen within a few minutes.
Wow. So what's the question that you want to try and answer with this research?
What we want to know is what happens to the flies when they don't get enough sleep. One thing that we can measure is the fly's attention the next day after it hasn't got enough sleep. So the way that we do this is we put the fly on a little platform in the middle of a big arena. And around the walls of the arena, we can place different visuals and see how it responds. The fly is walking back and forth between these two flickering stripes.
So what would this look like in a sleep-deprived fly?
So the sleep-deprived flies seem to lose their focus much more easily than a fly that had a normal night's sleep. They'll get much more easily distracted and they'll start to do way more circles and stop focusing on these two flickering stripes.
And why is that?
Well, that's a really big question. We're trying to understand what happens in a fly's brain. We think it might have to do with the connections changing in their brain.
During sleep?
That's right.
So is this fly sleep-deprived?
No, this fly's had a good night's sleep.
Later on, Leonie puts my sleep-deprived brain to the test.
Koalas have a pretty sweet life. Literally, all they do is eat and sleep. Koalas sleep between 18 to 20 hours a day, which means sometimes they're only awake for 4 hours. They don't sleep all the time because they're lazy. They actually sleep to digest the food that they eat, which is eucalyptus leaves. They eat a lot of leaves. Sometimes they can eat up to 1 kilogram in a day. And they don't need to drink much water. They get all the moisture from the leaves. Koalas have a special digestive system which helps them break down the leaves. Eucalyptus leaves to some other animals can be poisonous. The digestive system uses a lot of energy, which means they need to conserve as much as possible, which is why they sleep. I wonder if I could use that as an excuse to sleep in tomorrow. I'll say I need to digest my dinner from the night before.
Have you heard of the Sandman? Oh, he's a lovely character whose job it is to help small children go to sleep by sprinkling this magical sand into their eyes, which makes them close and gives them amazing dreams. I tried it once with real sand and I must say, it really hurt. And I couldn't really get to sleep after that because my eyes were sore and a little red.
So if I don't get enough sleep, I'm not going to be able to focus as well and my memory and my attention is going to be poor. Is that about right?
That's right. Actually, we've got a little test for you.
Oh no.
You look like you've had a good night's sleep, so how about you come and do this test?
Let's do it. What are we doing?
Okay, so what we've prepared is a number of images from different crew members, and you're going to have to see if you can recognise them.
Oh, I've got to remember the people that I've been working with.
That's right, yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yes. I recognise that person. Russell. Yes. I can't remember. That's Nathan. Oh. That's the polar bear I interviewed, Mishka.
What, you interviewed a polar bear?
Yeah, didn't say much. That's Mishka's dad, Hudson. This is not, these are animals, Leonie. That's Candace. That's Faye. And Jackie.
These are people that you've only worked with once or twice before, so it's pretty hard.
Exactly.
Even when you've had a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
But now we're going to test it when you've actually been sleep deprived.
Thanks very much for today, Leonie. I'm a bit scared about this test though. I'll let you know how it goes, all right? 1 week and 3 hours sleep later. Okay, so it's like 5 a.m. and the crew's just like dragged me out of bed and apparently I've got to do some test. I'm just really grumpy. Like Leonie said I would be. I'm grumpy, I'm irritable, and I don't really know what's going on. But I've got to do this silly photo thing again with the crew that apparently I worked with. I can't really remember them, but so I've just got to name who they are. This is gonna be really hard. That one, but that's Russell. Nah. I don't know, like Dean? That's Nathan. That's Nathan. It's a polar bear. I don't know. I'm not good with polar bear faces. They all... Oh, they're so cute though. How cute are they? Oh. Well, they're cheering me up. I don't remember what their names were. That's Candace. Faye? I don't know. Okay, so I think I got a few of them right, and maybe, I don't know if I did better or not, but I feel really foggy and it did take me a little longer. Like, I just don't, yeah, I'm not happy about doing it either, really. Oh, is this gonna be like, it's really embarrassing. People are gonna be upset that I didn't remember their names? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I like them all. I just can't remember their names. It's like, it's stupid o'clock. Call them, see if they remember my name, huh? But they didn't.
Do this. One super weird thing about horses is that they sleep standing up. Can you imagine that? No matter how tired humans are, we can't sleep standing up. We just end up falling over. Our bodies just aren't designed the same way. Horses have ligaments and bones like humans do, but they work a bit differently. Ligaments attach bones to bones and tendons attach muscles to bones. Unlike humans, horses can actually lock their knees into place to keep their legs straight. It's called a stay apparatus, and this means the horses can stay standing up while they're relaxed and sleeping. Pretty cool. Horses don't sleep standing up just so they can look good all the time. It's actually a way that they protect themselves. They sleep this way so if they're ever attacked, they can quickly get away. They're pretty big animals, so it would take them a while to get up and away otherwise. Despite how big they are, horses actually have pretty delicate bones. They can actually injure themselves if they lie down for too long. As for me, I think I still prefer lying down to sleep.
What doubles its weight in summer, sleeps for survival, is adorably cute and extremely rare. A mountain pygmy possum, of course. This tiny little guy only grows to around 10 centimetres and is found in the snowy parts of Australia, in Victoria and New South Wales. The coolest thing about this possum is it can withstand extreme temperatures by doing one thing: sleeping. They curl up into a tiny ball to conserve heat under the snow and drop their temperatures from 35 degrees Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius, only waking occasionally to have a sneaky snack on seeds and nuts. In the summertime, they eat lots of insects along with seeds and berries, but they rely on the boggon moth to build up enough fat reserves to hibernate during winter, doubling in size before going back to sleep. When it comes to surviving simply by sleeping, this smart possum has it all worked out.
Candace and I are going to try a little experiment.
Yay, can't wait for this.
Okay, Candace, I want you to watch this video and we'll see what your reactions are.
Okay.
It's a video of people yawning, and it's very hard to stifle a yawn once you feel it coming on. Ask any cat, dog or lion. They all yawn too. In fact, you've been yawning since before you were born. 4D scans reveal that babies can yawn inside the womb. But what does it all mean? Why do we yawn in the first place? Well, no one's 100% sure, but there's some cracking theories out there. Theory 1 is that yawning pumps more oxygen into your body. And the more alert you are, the more awake you are. The theory is this is a way for your body to get your brain to wake up. Theory 2 is that yawning helps provide a more ideal temperature for our brain. The theory goes that when we stretch our jaw, we increase our blood flow to our whole skull. And when we inhale at the same time, the cool air changes the temperature of our blood, bringing cooler blood to our head. Theory number 3, that yawning's in fact a secret way to let people know what you think of their stories. Right, Candace?
So I got up this morning to make my strawberry smoothie, and then I looked at the strawberry and I thought, I don't want to waste the little green part. But I love strawberries. They're like my favourite fruit after probably mango. When I cut the mangoes, I put them on display because they're so pretty. If I have a passion fruit, sometimes I put that over the top and it's just absolutely delicious.
I love passion fruit.
Sean, you're yawning.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
It's just the most boring story in the world, Candace. I'm sorry.
Really?
Well, it's about fruit.
I'm only on to breakfast. Lunch gets more exciting.
Oh, okay, come on. So while we're not 100% sure of the purpose of the yawn, one thing we do know is that yawning is highly contagious. In fact, I bet you've already yawned just watching this story. We do know that its contagious nature seems to kick in humans around the age of 5. And it's around this age that we start being aware of other people. We're very social creatures, and part of that is imitating others' feelings. In fact, yawning might just be an example of imitating how other people are feeling. It's definitely contagious. Oh, sorry, I've been talking about it for so long, I'm getting a little sleepy. Just 5 minutes, okay?
Hi.